Hi everybody, it's Sandra here from Create in Spain. How are you liking the new intro, by the way? I'd got bored with the last one, so I decided to change it. Now, we are all done with Christmas and I don't really do New Year very much. So what comes next? We got Valentine's Day. I decided I would have a little bit of fun and I wanted to do something just a little different. So I am going to be doing a lighting up Valentine card. Now, what I tend to use for my lights, or quite often I use for my lights, are little pieces of the LED lights which are battery operated. You buy them in a string. Now, you normally would find, you have 2 wires, you have your lamp, and you have another 2 wires. So what you want to do is clip off a pair of the wires on one side, and you end up with 1 pair of wires on this side. And you take an emery board, nail file, whatever, and you want to remove the coating for about the last centimetre, something like that. You should be able to see when you've got the coating removed because it should change colour. It's usually a coppery colour underneath whatever coating has been put on. You only want to take it off of the ends because you want to be able to cross these wires over or whatever without it actually arcing. So I've got that, and I have a CR2016 battery, and if I put either side of the battery, they should, if I got them around the right way, light up. There we go, that's a blue one, so it lights up. And that's basically a circuit. Couldn't get an awful lot easier, could it? And this is pretty much all we're going to need for the lighting up element of the card that I want to do. Now, the other thing that I did, you don't have to because you could always use a decorative light in the first place. I actually set my light in some resin, and this is a heart shape. So I have my mould, put in a little bit of UV resin in the bottom, put in the little light, and that way of course, and topped it up with some more resin and then put it under my UV lamp again. And you just remove it and you get your lamp set in resin. Now if you don't have any craft resin but you have clear nail resin, you can use that. It might take a little while to cure, but you should be able to use it. Just build it up in layers and it should be fine. Just make sure to use the sort which is going to dry nice and clear and shiny and doesn't have a tacky coat on the top of it. But if you've got builder gels, that sort of thing, you may well be able to use those. Other than that, a small bottle of resin doesn't cost an awful lot. I've recently bought a big, or had bought for me, I should say, as a Christmas present, a big bottle of resin, 500 mils, and that was about £20. So, or 20 euros, whatever it was. So that is the light that I'm going to be using, not the blue one. I don't think a blue light on a Valentine's card is quite what I'm after. But that's what I'm going to be using on the card. So what does the card look like? Now, I recently posted a video which was talking about Procreate. And I gave you the information needed in that video in order to be able to create a background paper by making your own brushes. Now these round little dots here were actually from a brush which is in Procreate already. I think it was called Bokeh Lights or something. B-O-K-E-H, not sure how you pronounce it. And then I made my own little heart brush and added some of those as well. Now the file just consists of 2 squares, and if you notice, one fits inside the other because they're cut out from the same piece. Literally, I give you enough of the design so that you have a tiny little edge around this, but this is 14.5 centimetres square and the design was 15. So you can cut out the entire design. You only have to print out that piece. You literally don't have to print out anything that's wasted. So the print does not come with this border because I figured you may well want to change the colour scheme. I thought it was easier to do your own border. Now for the border, all I did was I took a ruler, put it against the edge, and then used the chisel tip of an alcohol marker in an appropriate colour, just went across there. Clean your ruler afterwards. Okay. And that makes it stand out quite nicely. Now you should notice that I have a hole here, quite deliberately, and I also have a tiny little hole there and another little hole there. In the file I have put in all these holes. You may want to move the position. Depends on the length of your wires, etc. So to make this a lighting up card, what I need to do is to put the light on. Now I have crossed over the wires and just given them a little twist because I need them to go through one hole. Okay, so pop these together, and first of all, everything, all of it, goes through that top hole. And at some point I can put some transparent glue behind there to actually keep that on the front. So one of these wires needs to go on the back of here and the other one needs to be steered away from it. I've marked a circle there just to tell me where I need to put my wire so that it will be in the right place. But this wire needs to be threaded through the other hole. So put it through the hole and pull it down so that it's on the other side of that hole there, the big hole. Okay. Now, if I put my battery there and do that, that's the wrong way round. If I put it up that way, whoops, put it up the other way, just checking which way round it's got to go. Yeah, that's the correct way. Okay. So I now want to stick down my wire on top of there, and I can just use tape to do that. I can move the other wire away. Okay, that should do it. Now when that wire touches that, it's going to light up, but it will only do it when it's pressed. Just take the edge of that wire and curl it up a little bit. There we are. And that's where that wire is going to stay. And I've got the circle that I cut out of here. So I need to put something sticky on the back of this that will stick to that wire. Now I could use a glue dot if I had one. I don't happen to have any glue dots around. So I really need some double-sided tape. I will just fold over all the extra bits. So where it's curled around, I want that attached. Now to stop it from actually contacting that in the post, all I'm going to do is put a little piece of acetate over it. So I have a piece of acetate there, and if I put it over there and then I press that in place, it won't do anything until the acetate is removed, and I think most people could work out that that is what they are supposed to do. But you could always include some written instruction. Now that tiny little bit of wire that you have can be hidden quite easily because you can decorate it by putting a card cutout, maybe another little heart or something like that. Or maybe you could add some foam over another acrylic heart like I've got here, and you could put that on top, or you could put some gems over there. So I could in fact put that there and take it right the way up to my little heart. I've got my card base, and so the first thing I want to do is to put on my outer ring there. Now if I wanted to, I could, for example, do some heat embossing or something like that on the actual frame, on the outside or the inside, or even both. But I've decided I don't really want to do that. I have written remove on my little piece of plastic. I think most people could understand that, work out what it's going to be doing. And then on the back, I replaced that sticky tape with one which was stickier because the other one didn't seem to be staying put very well. And I've covered the back of it with some self-adhesive foam tape. When you are doing this, when you put your frame on here, make sure you get the frame up the right way because the design is supposed to match. And then you put it down in the center. I'm going to do this off camera because I really need to have my head right over the top of it. So there we have the finished card. There is next to no bulk in this, and it is still a lighting up card. I take this little piece of plastic out of the way and press that, on comes the light. And you can't see it on camera, but this is actually bright red, which is great fun. So there we have it, a very simple to make, effective design for Valentine's Day with a light, no difficult circuitry to do in it whatsoever. And as I said, you can decorate this little bit however you like. You could put a little bow there, you could put gems on, just put a few little foam backed red hearts or something like that, whatever you want to put on it to disguise that last ½ centimetre of wire. But I think that is pretty spectacular, and it was easy. It was so easy to do. So I hope you like that one, and don't tell my husband because it's his card this year. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Take care now.